आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? जो हालात है ऐसे में क्या कहेंगे?
My family, and when he was due to come here, he asked me whether it wasn't true that my birthday was coming up yesterday, the 10th of April. And when I said it was, he immediately said, right, I'm coming to your birthday party. And that is how it has so happened that he has arrived here. This is a scheduling for personal reasons, but for a purpose that is a public purpose.
That Khurshid Mahmood Qusuri is here because he is the part of that hope that was generated between India and Pakistan in Lahore Declaration in 1999 by the Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and the current Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif. After that Lahore Declaration, there was an era of hope and optimism. And fortunately, Qusuri was an integral part of that process because he was the closest and ablest advisor to President Musharraf. As if it happened only yesterday, 1991, Niyaz Naik and Asif Vardag and Qusuri, Inder Gujral, myself, and we walked to the gate of India International Center in 1991. I have forgotten the month. And September 3rd. And we planted 2 trees, trees of hope. I don't know whether
it was burning in your backyard.
Please don't interrupt.
Just trying to remind sir.
Please, earlier you interrupted. Please don't talk. So, but today, this evening, I differ with my friend, philosopher and guide, Ramjesh Malani. The current
problem will come to an end. But now wisdom has not prevailed, and wisdom will not prevail in this dull society of yours. It will probably be solved tomorrow when he and I meet. Believe you me, we will meet tomorrow and we will sort out and we will write out something, and you go and sell it there and I will sell it to the people here, and be sure that if God gives me another 2-3 years to live, we will solve the Kashmir problem.
I will not say anything. See, my love and high respect for Qusuri. He is fighting a battle in Pakistan, and he is a very dear one to Indian civil society, because we know what political thinking he has on this issue, crucial issue. I was referring to Lahore Declaration, and he generated a hope. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Then in 2004, Vajpayee ji traveling to Islamabad. Then 2005, Musharraf coming to India. And that hope was sustained till 2007. And I was in the cabinet when Dr. Manmohan Singh was going for a decisive meeting to Lahore, Qusuri Sahab. And I knew it as a cabinet minister, because the day before he had invited me for a discussion. And after 15 days, I followed after the cabinet meeting and asked Dr. Manmohan Singh, who looked back and saw me in his room. I said, sir, you were going to Pakistan. Go sit for some minutes. How could I go there? The Lal Masjid and President Musharraf's feud with the judiciary. And he said, last year in London, Musharraf admitted, not about Lal Masjid, but he admitted that it was wrong on his part to have picked up a
poor Kulbhushan Yadav to hang is, I think, a consideration which should not stand in the way of the larger purposes for which this group has gathered together. We are all from civil society. I know that as a Foreign Service officer myself, in what contempt professional diplomats hold civil society. I have no expectation that our deliberations today are going to turn the wheel of history, but I do believe that as citizens who are concerned and who would like to see that they and their children and grandchildren live in peace and secure progress, we are grateful to the Center for Peace and Progress that they have brought us together here.
So-called establishment, quote unquote. Now, let me come to another thing. It's not just my views that war is not possible. Foreigners and Indians who have written from India's perspective, there have been two recent books. One is George Pavlovich and Toby Dalton, Not War, Not Peace. I will only read one paragraph out of it. After concluding about the military strengths of the nuclear, the subconventional, whatever, they've come to the following conclusion. Hello? And they say, and that is dangerous, this is by Americans, but they're written from Indian perspective, probably written in New Delhi. They have reached the following conclusion. India and Pakistan are approaching rough symmetry. Oh, I forget about that. The point I wanted to read was something else. One of the countries may be more. It's not the balance. The important thing is about the balance what they say. The important thing they say is if not peace becomes the guiding principle of one of these two countries, then we cannot conclude that there will be no war. And the dangerous conclusion is that once the war starts, you cannot predict how it will escalate. Sometimes things acquire a momentum of their own. There is an Indian Army officer also has recently written, former Indian Army officer, I think his name is Praveen Sani, and on similar lines, that you need to resolve it.